In the early 20th century, the world believed technology had conquered nature. Nations were competing, industries were expanding, engineers were building machines bigger and stronger than ever before. And in 1912, one ship was meant to prove that human innovation had reached its peak. Her name was RMS Titanic. She was the largest passenger ship ever built at the time. Stretching over 880 feet long, powered by massive engines and designed with 16 watertight compartments, Titanic was described as practically unsinkable. She was built by the White Star Line, a major British shipping company competing for dominance in transatlantic travel. Luxury was the goal. Power was the message. The world was watching. The Titanic was constructed in Belfast and designed to carry over 2,200 passengers and crew. On board were some of the wealthiest individuals in the world, traveling in first-class luxury. There were also immigrants seeking new lives in America, traveling in third class. On April 10, 1912, Titanic departed from Southampton, England. She stopped briefly in France and Ireland, then began her journey across the Atlantic Ocean toward New York. The mood on board was confident. The ship was modern. The technology was advanced. Confidence in her safety was high. But the North Atlantic in April is unpredictable. As Titanic moved westward, radio operators began receiving iceberg warnings from other ships. These messages were passed to the bridge. Some were acknowledged. Others were not treated with urgency. At the time, it was common for ships to maintain high speed to ensure timely arrival. Slowing down meant delay, and delay meant embarrassment in a competitive industry. On the night of April 14, 1912, the sea was calm, the sky was clear, but the water was extremely cold. Just before midnight, lookouts spotted a dark shape directly ahead, an iceberg. The officers reacted quickly, ordering the ship to turn, but Titanic was massive, and response time was limited. The ship scraped along the side of the iceberg. At first, the damage did not appear catastrophic. There was no dramatic explosion, no immediate panic. But below deck, seawater was entering multiple compartments. The iceberg had torn openings along the hull. More than 4 watertight sections were compromised. The ship had been designed to stay afloat if up to 4 compartments flooded, but not 5. And that night, 6 were damaged. The ship's designer quickly realized the truth. Titanic would sink. It was only a matter of time. Lifeboats were prepared. Here, another issue became clear. There were not enough lifeboats for everyone on board. At the time, maritime safety regulations were outdated. Ships were required to carry lifeboats based on tonnage rules that had not kept pace with modern ship size. Titanic carried lifeboats for about half the people on board. Evacuation began under the policy of women and children first. Many passengers initially hesitated. The ship still appeared stable. Some believed it was safer to remain on board the large illuminated vessel rather than board small boats into the dark ocean. But as the bow dipped lower into the water, reality became unavoidable. Lifeboats were lowered, some not filled to full capacity. Crew members worked to manage the crowd. Musicians reportedly continued playing music to maintain calm. As water rose inside the ship, power began to fail. The grand staircases, the dining halls, the corridors of luxury, all were slowly claimed by the Atlantic. In the early hours of April 15th, the bow of Titanic submerged completely. The stern lifted high into the air. The enormous stress caused the ship to break apart. Shortly after 2:20 a.m., RMS Titanic disappeared beneath the ocean surface. More than 1,500 people lost their lives that night. Rescue ships arrived hours later, responding to distress signals. But the freezing temperatures of the water had made survival extremely difficult. The disaster shocked the world. Newspapers across Europe and America reported the sinking in disbelief. A ship once described as unsinkable had been destroyed on its maiden voyage. Investigations followed in both Britain and the United States. The inquiries revealed multiple contributing factors: high speed in iceberg-prone waters, insufficient lifeboats, failure to prioritize iceberg warnings, overconfidence in design. Following the disaster, maritime safety laws were changed. Ships were required to carry enough lifeboats for all passengers. Continuous radio watch became mandatory. Ice patrols were established in the North Atlantic to monitor dangerous conditions. In 1985, decades after the tragedy, The wreck of Titanic was discovered deep beneath the Atlantic Ocean, nearly 12,500 feet below the surface. Today, the remains of the ship rest in darkness, slowly deteriorating under pressure and time. The story of Titanic remains powerful not because it was just a shipwreck, but because it symbolized an era of confidence in technology and progress. It showed that even the most advanced engineering could not fully control nature. It exposed weaknesses in safety standards, and it changed international maritime law forever. The Titanic was not destroyed by a single mistake. It was the result of multiple decisions, human assumptions, and environmental conditions. More than a century later, the name Titanic still represents both ambition and tragedy. A ship built to demonstrate human achievement, a voyage meant to showcase power and luxury, an ending that reminded the world of its limits.